I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? 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 Lady, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what?
Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. Today's episode is quite an interesting topic. It's a topic where I'll be talking about things that are kind of hard to believe, actually. Some of these things you would see them in certain cultures, and some of them it'll basically be the first time you hear about them. Now, what's interesting about what I'm about to talk about is that there are a certain number of people who believe in their way of doing this thing to find out the answers that they are looking for whatever reason. And it kind of led me to think that it's clear that there's a lot of ways to find out things, right? So, to stop being vague and start being specific, I'm talking about the different types of fortune telling. Now, I don't know why this came to my mind, but this whole week I've been looking at something came to my mind, and I thought to myself, since in a certain culture there's a way of, finding out answers without using logic or common sense. So in this case, fortune telling, right? I thought to myself, I'm pretty sure there are different cultures who use different methods or different ways to basically fortune tell, right? And, well, let me just say, because I'm not going to name them all because I didn't write them down or I'm not reading from somewhere. But I want you to go and search on the internet, just write different types of fortune telling. And you'll be able to see, and you will see the various amounts of types of fortune telling. And you'd be surprised how these masters of telling fortunes have mastered this art. Because to them, they're referring it to an art. They refer to it as an art. And I thought to myself, well, some people don't believe in, well, let me just say, the African way of fortune telling. Because in a way, it is fortune telling. I'm now referring to the traditional healers, right? So obviously, the term traditional healer, you would think to yourself they're healing you using tradition medicine. But now these others, by others I mean sangomas, inyangas, and izangoma inyanga. Well, not abatagati, but well, what else? So all those people in English, they now just refer themselves as traditional healers. Because some of them, they portray themselves as traditional healers, and they're the total opposite. But anyway, it's a form of fortune telling, because some of them use bones, boom, and then all the answers are just in a bunch of bones, right? Now, others, they use water, others they use, others they pray. So, of which praying is, it's considered, when you search for the types of fortune telling, it is considered as a method, as a type of fortune telling. But I mean, everyone is familiar with the concept of praying. Maybe there are different types of prayers, but everyone is Well, everyone is aware and knows that there are different types of prayers, right? So with fortune telling, there's different ways. So basically, I'm just gonna think from the top of my head the others that I came across. So there's tessiography. That one was very interesting. Tessiography. And I'll tell you why it was interesting. I never thought to myself that drinking tea and finishing tea, then leaving tea leaves in your cup, I never thought that by just looking at the cup and the tea leaves, that that will tell you what's going on in your life or tell your fortunes, basically. That was very interesting. Now, I wouldn't say interesting in a bad way, but I also wouldn't say it in a good way. I just found it interesting. Tessiography. And then I think to myself, the amount of people I know who drink tea, it doesn't cross their mind that this tea that they're drinking, whatever problems they're going through, this tea, these tea leaves or tea bags or whatever, right? That's where the answer to all the problems is. Like, does that make sense to you? Does this concept make sense to you? Now, maybe I might not be quoting it directly, but what I'm saying is the fact that you drinking tea and then finishing the tea, and it doesn't cross your and it doesn't cross your mind that the solution to all the problems, you just have to look at the tea leaves and then interpret whatever is going on in the cup. Isn't that amazing? Like, isn't it funny? I found it funny. Well, I found it interesting. And I kept on looking at the others. Okay, obviously, astrology and numerology is a thing. People are familiar with those, with astrology and numerology. Whether they believe in it or not, it's a different story, but everyone is familiar with that. I mean, you see people post the 11 past 11 time, and then you see them screenshot and then post it on the status, not knowing what it actually means or how you use it to advantage. But I'm not shaming on anyone, to each his own, eh? What else? And then there's the one where just by looking at the hand or at your hands, the patterns and the lines that are on your and that are on your palms, that tells you how your life is gonna go. Like all of these things, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so as a person who understands that there's a higher source, obviously being God, you're like, wow, God really sat down and planned this whole thing. All 8 billion of us have a different pattern on our palms. They might be similar, but I mean, the fingerprints are different. Not everyone has the same fingerprints, but the palm one doesn't involve fingerprints. It's just patterns, right? So everyone has a pattern on their hands. All 8 billion of us. Okay, obviously, I have to consider those who are unfortunate to have hands. So maybe not necessarily 8 billion, but you get the idea, right? So I thought to myself, okay, what if I'm an atheist and I believe in the Big Bang, science, or whatever atheists believe how we arrived in this world? I thought to myself, okay, so how am I as an atheist supposed to believe that this is a thing? The palm method of fortune telling, just you looking at my palm and then telling my fortunes and my problems and how I'm going to live my life by just looking at my palm. Like this whole thing, when you explain it to someone who is not familiar with fortune telling or who doesn't even believe in fortune telling, how are you going to explain all of this to the person? How are you going to explain to him that your, what you call these zodiac signs, some people just believe that because they're a certain type of zodiac sign, they just totally believe in the fact that because I'm this sign, I'm like this. That's including the flaws as well. So if they're always pissed off, they're like, I'm a person who's always pissed off and I'm accepting that because I am this zodiac sign. Now, if I don't believe in all of that, wouldn't I think that you're just stupid? Like, wouldn't it cross your mind that I'm just thinking you're stupid? Like, what happened to anger management? What happened to channeling your anger in the right direction? What happened to all of that? So you just told yourself, because I'm this zodiac sign, which sometimes is wrong, you think that your zodiac sign is your God now? Like, it doesn't make sense. Others, they use the crystal ball. Okay, we're familiar that if you watch cartoons, I'm sure you're familiar with that method of fortune telling. Like, there's a lot of different types of fortune telling. And it made me think that, okay, the other types only apply to certain cultures. The other types are, general knowledge. Everyone knows or has heard of that type of fortune telling. But it made me think that should I ever get into a debate with someone who believes in a different type of method, and maybe they believe in tessiography and I believe in obviously the African way of fortune telling using bones, which method makes more sense? First of all, I mean, to have a good idea of how the debate would go, just think about the debates that occur when a person of another religious belief debates with another person of another religious belief. Imagine now talking about the different types of fortune telling, you using tessiography and I'm using the African way, the bones. Like, it was just so interesting. And if you've ever come across a weird type of fortune telling, just let me know which one it is, because the others I'm still learning about them. Well, not learning, I'm just, not even reading. I'm just, as long as I know what's happening. Like, tessiography. What is tessiography? Tessiography is this, and that. Boom. That's literally what I'm doing. Because I don't see myself using any type of method of fortune telling. Like, I mean, I would have the knowledge to understand what's going on, and now at least enough for me to, contribute in any conversation or any debate. Because, sometimes in order to learn about something, you need to kind of argue or debate with another person who's familiar with that. Because it's another way of learning in a way. So I found it interesting, and I just thought to myself, you know what? Today, no rage baiting. Today, no clickbaiting. I mean, I don't even clickbait or I don't even rage bait as well. Like I said in the first episode, I'm just sharing my thoughts and opinions. That's all. So obviously, today's thoughts and opinions are on fortune telling. Like, there's so many. Like I said, like, there's so many things to talk about. And this is one of them that was totally unexpected. I mean, I never thought I'll be talking about this. I know I have a lot of opinions, but I didn't think I'd be talking about this. So let me know which type of fortune telling you found interesting, or that you don't believe, or you probably think this is just impossible to even understand. And let's engage in the comments. See you in the next episode.
I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then.